I can see the light. Man. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We got ourselves a little double A offer today. It's like me keep saying, can you wait my bed? Yeah, please stop. Don't listen, you already have unique on your side and that you am befriending SCPs. Don't add, like don't make other things, especially something that somebody else said, not you yourself. Don't make somebody else's sentence your catchphrase. Please be better than that. don't do that to me. Alright. Let's actually get started, shall we? Because we have 23,000 words. Why am I so fucking dizzy? We got 23,000 words to read. We got, and there are the first one. The first log is written by Decibels and Thank You Ben, and the A in thank is a 4, and the E in Ben is a 3. Thank You Ben does not have a offers link. Decibels, we know Decibels. How long was it ago that we read Decibel is the question. I believe 2906 from the looks of it. Yeah. That's it. 2906. Not too far ago. 2906. The true incognito. Oh yeah, it was like the at, like, you know, the and sign, but then like it, anytime something like connected to that symbol comes across you, you forget about it. Like it's like really like, it's literally the strongest anti-meme you could have, because like you won't know who they are, you won't remember them, you don't even know what the fuck they talked about. Yeah. Oh wait, was it 305? You're correct. You are correct. Thank you. Glad somebody checks in on that. Which was the old man with the wormhole in his ears. Even better. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, that's what a last one to read, eh? There's not that many left of Decibel, yeah? I think that no, there is a couple. I lied. Okay, phone, Jesus. Shut up. Why is now, before nobody wanted to text me before streaming, now that I'm streaming, I'm like, I'm good. Leave me alone. Okay, 23,000 words to read today. Let's get started. This girl's gone bad on a game attack. That sounds like some sort of like commercial line. This girl's gone bad on a game attack. Officer class Euclid. And don't worry, I saw that it's not there. Boom. Special containment procedures. SCP-3090 is to be kept in a standard humanoid containment cell at Site 17. Personal electronic devices such as cell phones, computers, and handheld video game consoles are not allowed in a 12-meter radius of SCP-3090 except during testing periods. SCP-3090 is to have a psychological evaluation every Tuesday with Dr. August Lichon and junior psychologist Blake Maxon Yamagusku. Is it the... I wonder if the... Or is it Yamagusku? Yamagusuku? I think Yamagusuku. Maybe all the U's are not silent. Usually when you see something like... I need to actually learn in Japanese. When is the U silent? Because there's a lot of times when it is. Like in Desu. A lot of times like they actually pronounce it like des. And the U is silent. There's also moments where they actually do say the U. So I wonder... In this case, I guess because it's a name, you actually say... Well, even the names say occasionally silent the U. Revised containment procedures. Mobile Task Force Copper 10 Skynet are responsible for locating entities suspected to be SCP-3090 or in possession of abilities similar to SCP-3090 due to the possibility of SCP-3090's self-termination being a planned containment breach. Just gotta check that the audio is a little bit loud on my side. Should be good for you guys, right? Yeah. Because we have 23,000 words, I'm going to read the the first SCP like fully through, and then the other ones I will respond to. Actually, no. Let's see here. Nice one, Skynet. Yeah, wasn't that was the one that I just recently read the Hello World, and that was MTF. That was Kappa 10 in it. So it's pretty cool that I fittingly, before I read this one, got to read the Hello World tale, where Kappa 10 actually was like the main focus. Description: SCP-3090 is a humanoid of indeterminate race and age. The head has been replaced with a detachable television set. This television can only be removed by SCP-3090 when turned on by pressing the power button or reconnecting it to SCP-3090's body. A pixelated logo shows up in large pink font reading MS Mad About Video Games by Gamers Against Weed. Replaced then by various next characters assembled into a facsimile of a face depending on its mood. Who would have thought that the one SCP that has a game in the title is Gamers Against Weed related? When separated, SCP-3090's neck terminates in a standard 5 to 15 electrical socket. Let me actually read this again. The head has been replaced with a detachable television. Oh, so like, okay. When separated, SCP-3090's neck terminates. The state of separation also renders it unusable to communicate or interact with others meaningfully. Well, TV head, huh? I will continue reading while I will write already down for my SCP thumbnail prompt. Person with a TV for it. And maybe have like a NES game in it as well. Any interactive media in a 10-meter radius of SCP-3090 becomes an instance of -1. An icon of SCP-3090 will generate on the bottom left corner of the screen during gameplay. Playing -1 induces a catatonic state on the player when the avatar or character is terminated or otherwise enters a failed state. This reverts upon resumption of play or if the instance of -1 ceases operation. Subjects regaining consciousness report feelings of dissociation and identifying with the digital avatar. SCP-3090 controls the graphical output appearing on screen, altering it spontaneously. This is usually done in the form of minor graphical adjustments not present in the program's code. SCP-3090 reports fatigue after long-term or repeated activation of its anomalous effects. Man, all PCs would basically complain if all PCs was this anomaly. Programs with more intensive graphical appearances also cause SCP-3090 to become strained. Wasn't that meme guy SCP also connected to Gamer Against Weed, or was he against it? There are a lot of Mr. Gamers Against Weed in the first 100 of the series. 4. Really so like misters. Tomorrow we say goodbye to the 3,000. The first 3,000 and say hello to 3,100. Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. Recovery. The Foundation was alerted to SCP-3090's existence after intercepting police reports of a suspicious individual causing a disturbance outside of a GameStop in Las Vegas, Nevada. Said figure held a sign of red, which can be the generation that ends gaming addiction forever. SCP-3090's sweatshirt contained a document consistent with others associated with various misters from Gamers Against Weed. Document A. Holy heck! You just found yourself your very own Miss Mad About Video Games by Gamers Against... You know for a fact. You know for a fact that this is a reference to the bygone days. I mean, it still happens. It still happens nowadays. You can still get in a relationship like that where the guy plays a video game and the girlfriend is then over there like, why are you playing a game? Why are you not paying attention to me? I hate that you're playing video games. It still happens. Not as much as back in the day, because now a lot of girls, it's like 50-50 now that girls also play video games. You know that that's the reference that this is about, right? It's like, oh, you're playing a lot of games. I'm tired of you playing games and not paying attention to me. And now your girlfriend has the monitor head, and then you are playing a game on her head, and she's like, honey, please, it gives me a migraine. Just please turn it off for like 10 minutes. And you're there like, I'm almost done with the level, babe. Please, please, man. I almost beat the final boss in Elden Ring. Just 2 more tries. You're like, we've been trying for 2 hours. Please, just release me. You don't understand. if I stop now and I go away, and then come back, I'm gonna be worse at it. Can you just get a different TV to play the game on? No, it's, for some reason the game is saved on your head. I can't change it anymore. I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna kill. By Games Against Weed. Also, why is my that was weird. Just decided to like just play one song. Remember to take 15-minute break for every hour of play. Who is talking to entertainment? Okay, that 15-minute break will probably be for the girl. Be like, it's like, hey, give me a pause, please. And you just like, no, my high score. Then a test log and interviews to Legend of Zelda Wind Waker for the Nintendo GameCube. Oh boy, Wind Waker is definitely a game you can easily lose track of time. Players and a control test, technical assistant, met Ward supervising. SCP-3090 and its icon were unresponsive. Now I have to do Wind Waker. Wind Waker. That will gain the clicks. Wind Waker in the thumbnail. Come on now. To appear slightly more exaggerated, Jane just disappeared upon the controller being unplugged. By the way, I'm just joking about the clicks. I don't give a shit. If I cared about clicks, I would have gone crazy with thumbnails. I would have had boobs. I would have gone 2012 YouTube style. Test 2 copies of Pokemon Crystal and 2 Game Boy Advances. D7215 and D3015. D7215's game had graphics typical of a Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire game. Pokemon fainted. Text was replaced with Pokemon died. Ew. I guess Mrs. Mad about video games does not like Pokemon. We could tell if you cared about the views. Yeah, I hope, like, I wonder... No, not really I want. I hope that I never... No, I know. I know that I will never be like I will never be like, I have to do this for the views. That's the last thing I'm ever gonna be. But if I ever end up like that, I hope y'all be like, hey Afro, you lost your way. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'll be like, you guys are right. At the end, I don't think it's gonna be that case. Because otherwise I would have cared about that 5 years ago. The 3015's game had graphics typical of Pokemon Crystal game, but red pixels appeared on the Pokemon as hit points decreased. Aesthetic alterations are variable depending on the subject playing. Both D-Class had a team of 3 Pokemon each. Wounds begin to manifest on subjects which were consistent with the injuries sustained by the respective Pokemon. SCP-3090 would then choose a new Pokemon for the subject, reversing the state. Text transcribed from D3015's game follows. Enemy Typhlosion used Flame Wheel. Vileplume is hurt by the burn. Vileplume used Toxic. Enemy Typhlosion is poisoned. Enemy Typhlosion used Swift. Holographic ninja stars appeared and slashed through D3015's body with blood appearing to pour onto the floor. And any kid would.
What the hell is this?
Yeah. D7215 notices and jumped out of his chair, dropping the Game Boy Advance onto the floor and refusing to play further. Vileplume died. Enemy Typhlosion is hurt by poison. D7215 falls to the ground, complaining of a stomach ache, so they are actually feeling the effect. SCP-3090 turned off the game at this point, patting D3015's head before moving back to where it sat. Oh. I'm sorry though, one. D-Class baddie comes and twirls on my lap. Non-clickbait serious. Yeah, basically, right? Yeah. Like, if I made the titles and the thumbnails absolutely, like, stupidly exaggerated and outrageous. At the end, I just make the thumbnails and titles the way I remember what the SCP is about. Henry would slap you if you begin caring about the views. Yeah, right, no? At the end, getting a lot of views and eventually making money out of this would be a nice thing to happen. Especially because I can then use it to help for my actual other big projects, or because I know I will do it, I can help my friends with their stuff. But that's all that is about it. I will never, ever in my life and I say this right here, right now, and I will say it over and over again, I will never in my life be the type of guy who does something for views, who will risk somebody's health or my own health for views. And I will never go into any ethical or moral stance, like against ethical or moral stances for views. You know what I mean? I will never say something that's absolutely batshit insane just so I can gain views out of it. Ever. Interview A. SCP-3090, watch like somebody watching this video be like, oh, I bet he will. And now that person's thinking about, I'm gonna be 90 and this will never happen. Dr. August Litron, interview done soon after test 2. SCP-3090 had refused to speak to Foundation personnel up to this point, where it relented to an interview. Begin log 1321. Good afternoon, Miss Mad About Video Games. I don't think that's such a good handle. My mom's gave me an actual name, you know. What did they call you then? I'm not sure I want to share, actually. It was endearing, but embarrassing. Alright then, let's talk about the last test we did. Why did you shut off both Game Boys in the middle of the test too? If I didn't, they would have kept fighting. I don't like fights. They're not fun. Games are supposed to be fun. Neither of them looked like they have fun as well. But what people experience when they lose or die in a game is, well, SCP-3090's head displays an ellipsis remaining silent for a full minute. Oh, like, gotcha. How do you make things happen outside of the game? It's a gimmick. Good graphics. Everyone loves good graphics. I do too, even if I love playing older games. Oh, she'll see. But why the fuck did they name her Mad About Video Games? I think all the good movies these days are in 3D, so why shouldn't games be the same way? Then what about the state people are put in when they lose? I'm not sure. Maybe they're so immersed in their game they end up believing it impacts them as well. Just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Every time something happens to Yu-Gi-Oh! The person goes like... When I play games, nothing happens. I'm not a human anymore, so I can't speak to that. I do enhance the graphics to appear more realistic, but those are holograms. They shouldn't be able to harm people. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me ask again. Why did you end up making people go through that state? SCP-3090's head displays an ellipsis remaining silent for another minute. As Dr. Lich is about to ask another question, it speaks. It's not exactly an ideal situation, is it? Maybe it's because people are anxious right when they die in a video game or lose. It cuts down on aggression and hostility, so you have time to cool down and not be aggressive. That's why I assume anyway. I never bothered to ask. Do you remember who created you? What are your earliest memories? My mother's. It feels too weird calling them creators. I stay in one of the places and go to play all the time. It's fun for me to play all the time since I don't need to do anything else, but I made sure that she didn't burn herself out. Anyway, it's really here. I'm gonna open up the window. First I was worried it was going to get too cold, but now I'm looking, it's like 24 degrees in here, so it's pretty warm. Anyway, they wanted to take me to a GameStop and win a video game tournament. Which was fine since I'm very, very good at gaming. I won, and of course people had all of that happen to them. They didn't give me the Switch, that was a surprise. One of the other contestants tried to take my head off because they thought it was part of a costume. It didn't come off, so I took it off myself. Everyone freaked out, and when they put it back on me in panic, they locked me out while they called the police. I tried to follow my mother's out, but I realized too late that they already left and ended up locked outside of the store. I miss her. What did she or your other mom look like? We can have her come here for you. I'd rather see myself home. SCP-3090 displayed a prohibition sign refusing to respond to any further inquiries. And log 1326. Imagine using while playing Doom. This SCP is most commonly shipped with 2393 or Miss Sweetie. Really? Wait, 2396. Yeah. I would use to play Alien. I would not. I don't know. The idea of using a sentient sapient being to play a video game on feels wrong to me. I don't know. Even if she would offer, I would still be like, this feels not right. I think for me that it would be in the same category if I was able to physically control a person. So that's how that's in the same category there. That's why I would not do it. Test 8 Animal Crossing New Leaf for Nintendo 3DS. Players D800. Since Animal Crossing New Leaf is a game without failed states, it was hypothesized that no abnormalities other than the expected graphical changes would occur. SCP-3090 appeared delighted to watch the game, stating that this was its favorite game, as well as being non-violent. That's good. So maybe non-violent games would be a good thing to give to her. So Stardew Valley, she would love. D8000 was instructed to play until told to stop by the Foundation staff. At 1 o'clock, the lower left, or 1 hour, the lower left icon displayed a text pop-up which was also spoken aloud by SCP-3090 saying, "You've been playing for a while. Maybe you should take a break." We repeated the phrase at 1:15, 1:30, and 1:45. At 2 hour mark, it changed to, "You look tired. You should give your eyes a break." We repeated the phrase at 2:10, 2:20, 2:30. At 2:45, it said, "You're so tired. Please stop." The 3DS is observed to have a pink substance leaking out of it. Ooh. Then unidentified, probably like... I almost imagine the screen is basically her eyes, and the pink substance must be like something like, you know how like when you bleed from your eyes, like how anime characters sometimes do. I feel like that's like that. It's like D8000 was instructed by technical researcher Medward to continue playing. At 2:50, it said, "You're overexerting yourself. Please stop." As the icon switched to appearing exasperated, the substance became thicker and more opaque. At the 3 hour mark, the 3DS ceased functioning as SCP-3090 collapsed, a buffering symbol displaying on its screen. Again, this is one of those moments where if I was in the Foundation, I would just be like, guys, I think we know what's going to happen. I think we understand that like she will eventually force the game to stop because we are pushing her actual body too far. Instant report 3090/890. Okay, so SCP-3090 and SCP-890. With the approval of Site Director Everett Mann, both SCP-3090 and the 3DS were brought to SCP-890 for surgery. According to SCP-890, the 3DS was complaining of symptoms consistent with heavy metal poisoning. It determined that the victim had redacted. Though chemical testing of the substance revealed it was non-anomalous and able to be replicated. The 3DS also had contusion from regular usage, but this was unrelated to the patient's cause of death. SCP-3090 did not receive surgery, as SCP-890 determined that it was neither similar to other patients nor a simple mass of meat. It advised personnel that based on similar experiences, SCP-3090 only needed to rest approximately a few days before returning to its original state. But by the way, SCP-890 is known as the rocket surgeon. Just wanted to share that. Yep. I faintly recall him. I guess, but yeah, it's been a while. It's also one of the ones that sadly is not on the Dr. AfroFluff channel. Interview-B interviewed SCP-3090 interviews Dr. August Litchin Jr., psychologist Blake Maxson Yamagusuku. Forward interview done one day after SCP-3090 returned to its original state. Why is my iTunes not willing to oh, okay, it needs to log back in for some reason. That's weird. Oh, are you shitting me? Wait, do I have it here by any chance, or do I have to go downstairs? Be right back, guys. Technical difficulties. Be right back. Alright, let's see if I can fix this. Here we go. Let's see if that works. This here, and if it happens again, I will do it after the reading. Hello, my name is Blake Maxon Yamagusuku, and I'll be here to talk with you along with Dr. Lichen. I know what happened must have been very difficult, but hopefully I can help. Dr. Lichen was also before here, right? Yeah. Sure. I decided on the name as well. Heather. Heather. That's a good name. Heather, do you want to talk about your experience? No. I'd like if you don't have that happen to me much. Will you tell me when I'm able to go home? I'm feeling fine enough. We're still trying to locate your parents, as well as see if you're fine enough to go back home. I know you don't want to talk about what happened, but any sort of information could help us if this was new of an experience to you. Then I can try. When the guy played too much Animal Crossing, I started to feel really worried for him. I think I got so worried I got sick as well. Even my mom doesn't play games for that long, and she streams for an audience. At this point, Dr. Lichen's phone went off, prompting him to take the phone out of his pocket and look. Unlocking the phone opened up a game application, and an icon immediately appeared on the bottom left screen, unnoticed by Dr. Lichen at the moment. My bad. 3090. Heather, I thought I had gotten a SCP-3090 screen immediately changes to a flashing exclamation point. The phone screen instantly cracks, accompanied by the sound of glass breaking. What? Please? Please pay attention. It is not the time to play video games. Conversation held for 90 seconds. Lichen handed Yamagusuku his phone, making nervous hums as Yamagusuku leaves the room. Lichen clears his throat before continuing the interview. Right. Sorry, I didn't realize my phone was in my pocket. Please continue. SCP-3090's screen changes to a face with two X's for eyes. You called me a number. That never sounds nice, regardless of the context. Silent for 12 seconds as Yamagusuku returns to the room. You don't plan to have me leave here, right? You'll be staying here for an indefinite amount of time. Then what about my parents? We don't know where they are either. We've been looking for them ever since we brought you here. SCP-3090 leans on the table as it displays turns into a buffering symbol, refusing to respond to further inquiries. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. This is a problem when you have to when you lie to a humanoid SCP, man. You're gonna make it more difficult for you. Like if you just being all like, it's like, oh yeah, we will eventually send you back home, and then you never do. You're just gonna make them really despise you. Test 12. Game Pauper Rise of the Monster King. What the fuck is this? Now, oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. I want to see this. I think I recall it. This happens in like every humanoid SCP. It does. Every time. Every time there's a humanoid SCP and they interview them and they're like asking like, oh, can I leave? They always say something like, yeah. Like occasionally, of course, they're like, no. You stay here. But a lot of times they're like, yeah, look how it goes. Player D2091. Testing done to see if anomalous games will be affected by SCP-3090, as well as displaying consistent results with other video games. SCP-3090 displayed knowledge concerning SCP-951 and was interested in interacting with it. Let me see. Can I see? Is there any like hints again? Probably not. Oh well. But Rise of the Monster King, I do recall that a little bit, but I don't remember anything. After initial anomalous effects displayed as normal after loading a previous save file, an excerpted transcript of gameplay follows with extraneous detail cut. A full transcript can be given upon request by technical researcher Medward. Hello. Do you want to go to Wonderland today? There's a monster or two over there that you might want to recruit. Sure. Let's go. Something seems different this time around. Did you use a cheat code? You don't need to do that. I haven't done anything. We should get out of the magma caves. 20 minutes later, a random encounter started. Shortly after the battle started, SCP-951 took on the appearance of the character Lucas from the game Mother 3. Hey, Xeno, you just played Mother. as he appears in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, as opposed to the usual random blocks of pixels. SB951 defeated the enemy monster in one hit, immediately reverting back to its original state. Why did I look like that? You noticed? Yeah. I don't know what you did there, but I'm not a fan of those changes. I've been making the game more fun for us, but I feel weird making mess with like that. At this point, SCP-3090 icons interjected. But you look cool this way. Shouldn't you be happy about that? Hey, who is that? What is she doing here? I thought it was just us. You are a good friend, but I had no one join us. I thought I might introduce you to her. Huh? SCP-3090 icons in face display anger. I don't know you. I'm against my will and you have the gall to call me your friend. She makes me really nervous. I don't want to play with you while she's around. Please turn off the game, and next time don't bring your other friends. I can't talk to girls. SCP-3090's mood plummeted considerably for the next 2 days, remaining uncooperative during testing. Man, the Foundation is just doing everything in their power to like ruin this poor girl's like mental state. Test 15. Following the most recent interview session in conjunction with Project Crowdreader. 2842. 2842. Oh. Mr. Meme, yes, of course. Yeah. I remember him. SB-3090 was prompted to make a blank Twitter account. 11 images were discovered, 2 of which were classified information, 9 images were printed. 3 of the 11 images were related to the Danganronpa media series. I did not expect Danganronpa to be mentioned in the I mean, okay, to be honest. Out of all video game series, Danganronpa does fit SCP Foundation the most. To which SB-3090 responded, me. One image was related to the video game Persona 5, that also makes sense, featuring the character Morgana with text on top reading, you must be tired after today, and text on the bottom reading, let's go to sleep, where the account was subsequently deleted to prevent an intelligence breach. Test 16. A game of Super Mario Bros. Altered to play an oral mimetic kill agent for 50 seconds after touching a power-up known as the Superstar, D8052. SB-3090 was made unaware of the game's nature during testing. D8052 experienced a stroke, although her hands continued to operate and play the game of its own volition. SB-3098 goes to take the controller from D8052, but remains in her grip. When Mario dies, despite death not being caused by SB-3090's anomaly, D8052 revived. D8052 re-expired when the power was shut down remotely. SCP-3090 was negatively affected after testing, remaining silent during the next 2 interviews and only displaying a prohibition sign until the subsequent interview. Interview F. Interviewed SCP-3090, Dr. August Litchin, Jr., psychologist Blake Yamagusuku. This was the first interview after 3 weeks following Test 16, where SCP-3090 was willing to communicate, with interviews again appearing less distressed. Begin log 17 o'clock. Okay. Good afternoon, Ella. Are you feeling any better today? I think so. Please let me go home. I'm tired of all these things you guys have me do. We need you to know the full extent of what your abilities do so that we can release you to the public without any fear or worry of you harming others, even if it's an accident. SCP-3090 produces audio and video static for 6 seconds. I understand that the testing isn't great. We can reduce it greatly for you. The important thing is to make sure you're doing fine mentally. It can be difficult to adjust to staying here. A lot of the people I talk to feel that way. That's why we want to make sure you're well. Face changed to an ellipsis for 10 seconds before turning to a neutral expression. When I was living back home with my mom, she helped me learn how to design video games. We were working on a beat-em-up, something like Street Fighter, but in 3D and more story-oriented, so like God Hand, but more gay. Gay? In both ways. I was pretty gay before being like this, as SCP-3090 gestures to its body. Still am. I don't think that matters much. Anyway, I like learning how to make games almost as much as playing them. But truth be told, it always felt like a weird thing to do. I can only literally affect people through games and edit them myself, making them just feel less tangible. Besides, beat-em-ups are too violent for me. They're fun, but I like more calmer stuff like puzzle games and visual novels. Have you always disliked violent games? It seems to clash with the name. Yeah, even fictional characters getting hurt isn't fun, let alone real people. Do you think it has anything to do with your abilities? I did have a say in it. I think the executional set stuff I can do got messed up a little along the way. I don't blame my moms though. That sort of creation is hard to perfect after all. It's sort of like magic in a way. They certainly did their best. They did. I miss them. I think I'm done talking. I'm done with talking today. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of the experiments, is to see what is the limit. Like they have to experiment as much as possible because they don't want to be surprised by anything. So that's why they do like all these tests, right? So like okay, if we do it like this, if we do it like that, if it's this one, if it's that one, what happens? It's always to see, it's always to check what the what the lowest limit and the highest limit of an SCP is, because then you have a good understanding of like what could happen or not happen, blah 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 blah. But it's just a shame because a lot of times with the humanoid SCPs, they just ignore the mental toll it takes on them. Like the test with like, oh yeah, just keep on playing until we are to the 3-hour mark, and then she fainted. Like now they know for sure, okay, beyond 3 hours of non-stop gaming she cannot handle. And who knows, and they are now aware of that, but in the same time, she hated that. she doesn't want to do that. It's the same thing with like, and I will always bring that up because it's like the one SCP where for the first time I really got like understood like, oh, the Foundation does not give a shit of how evil they are towards the anomaly. The water nymph, right? They experimented on her by boiling her and freezing her. And of course, and then she got chronic depression out of that. And any person with a brain would be like, oh, she's a creature made out of water. I'm pretty sure she would not like if she was boiled or frozen. But because they have to test it to be 100% sure, because it's a hypothesis. It's a hypothesis before. It's just a theory and a hypothesis before. It's not the evidence. It's not the facts yet. Test 20. Tetris, Game Boy 1989 on the Game Boy Advance, SCP-3090. SCP-3090 started a new game and waited for the blocks to fall on top of each other as a pillar of tetromino-shaped blocks manifested. SCP-3090's icon moved to an empty space where the blocks fell and crushed it, with the icon disappearing on impact. SCP-3090 fell unconscious. Starting a new game did not revive SCP-3090. After 3 hours, SCP-3090's body disappeared, with document -B and document -C manifesting in space. And this computer is not. You must authorize this computer before you can use Apple Music. Okay, let me see. Authorize this computer. Let me just do that real quick. Otherwise, it will constantly turn off the music. I authorized... What? I authorized more than 5? That's not true. I have to figure it out. Sounds like somebody is logged into my iTunes. That's a little bit worrisome. Okay, and then this is the 6k words extra. -B, if die, then revive somewhere else. Fail safe. Sorry, Max will find you ASAP. Document C is a GameStop power-up rewards pro card. Aside from the text, super high school level appearing on the top of the card, is otherwise non-anomalous and able to be used at a GameStop. By the way, I recommend reading that tale at least off stream than adding it to the video, as the tale gives a lot more background and character to the SCP. I mean, with this tale, we have a 23,000 read today. Without it, it would be 17,000. It's like it's still in it's still in the possible like range of reading. I don't think it's we have to necessarily ignore it. I appreciate the recommendation, but with it, it's just around 23,000 words. Nothing that we haven't done before. All right, you ain't no family. I have to take the shirt off though. Like, no, I'm keeping it on. It will cool down soon enough. You ain't no family. Dreaming of her past. The as of yet unnamed girl insulated herself from the cold in a thick hoodie, having. Yeah, I was counting the tail on the word count. I asked how it specifically is like, is it with the word count, without? And he's like, oh, the 17,000 was without the tail. And I was like, okay, good. If it was 23,000 without the tail, and then that added weapon, still 28,000, still makeable. But then I would have agreed with you for sure. Okay, let's actually read. I have no idea what to expect from the game. Silent Hill 3. Oh, fuck. A fascinating name for a game. There wasn't much she could go off beyond what the disc looked like in the banged up plastic sleeve her friend at school packed it in. Where was she gonna hide in her closet of a room, and what he told her? You should play this. It's violent, but that's fine since the main character is a girl. She rules. You probably appreciate that, he said, and it was true. She did appreciate that. Somehow she appreciated despite it being horror. Violent horror. The crack of dawn, long after finishing the game, she still couldn't figure out what had enthralled her about it. Was it that she was playing a game she could hide from her parents? Maybe it was that. Maybe it was that it was more than just a violent game in some way. It was surprisingly fun. Perhaps it was the perfect form of escapism. A game where you could fight religious monsters and kill a god while being a badass teenage lady up against evil adults. That was the main thing she had kept coming back to as she tossed and turned in bed, fishing with her secret hair bow. Let me just look up Silent Hill 3 again. Oh yeah, it's this. Yeah. For some reason, not a lot of people talk about Silent Hill 3. Like Silent Hill 2 and 4, and even Shattered, like Shattered Reality, Shattered Dreams. I forgot what it's called. Are the ones I keep hearing more about. Heather Mason was a gorgeous name. Oh, is that where she got the name from? Heather Mason was only 3 years older than her. It was the first time she could recall playing as a cool female lead character rather than just a cute one, and she won on her own strength. That was the most important part. Hey, Heather, you could play Bayonetta. You get to play a kick-ass witch girl, witch woman. Heather Mason, she was everything she had wanted to be. In a way she could manage to be more feminine, they probably even look alike. Maybe cosplaying her in the future wouldn't be out of the question. Heather Mason. That would make for a nice name, she thought. From then on, she fully had her internal identity as a boy. Now she will be forever Heather Mason. Hey, wait a minute. Okay. She will fully shed her eternal identity as a boy, so she always saw herself as a boy. Interesting. Heather woke up, groggy from a rough night of sleep. It took a few seconds to realize that the two figures in her room were in fact Dahlia and Andressa, mom and mommy. They both held numerous presents for her. What? Happy birthday! Ah! She jumped out of bed in shock. She never heard them yell that loud. She never heard anyone yell that loud. Not in a positive way. It was disorienting. Oh, right. June 4th. You remembered? Of course we did, Max. Dahlia beamed. She was always proud of that nickname. We always weren't going to forget it for the world. All of us pooled money together to get you some neat shit. You didn't have... Before she could speak anymore, the both of them leaned in to kiss what was approximately her forehead. No way we weren't going to get you stuff, Andressa reassured. Me, Dahlia, all our friends, we wanted to treat you to something special. We can look forward to this every year. They smiled. It was a feeling she still hadn't gotten used to even after all this time. Thank you both. A radiant, blushing, ASCII face popped up. I'm really thankful and happy, but if you don't mind, I still need half an hour to get myself out of bed, even on my birthday. Heather added a heart alongside her face. It was too overwhelming to take in at the moment. She might need a whole hour this time. You know what? TV. She reminds me now a little bit of a... Where is he? Shop guy. Where are you? Luminous Square. Luminous. Yeah. This guy. Because he also like there's no good picture. He also would like display things on his screen. So I imagine like almost like that. Yeah, I will check with iTunes after this reading. I'm really thankful and happy, but was too overwhelming. To, yeah. Sure thing. We'll be making breakfast, so feel free to join us whenever you want. You want us to leave your present here? And does ask. Oh, probably just in the living room. I'll open them later, I think. Will do, Max. With that, the both of them had left the room. It was tempting to fall back asleep right then and there. She already felt a lot of energy gone. She collapsed and turned out towards the window. The sun wasn't as bright today as it usually felt. Did that mean anything in particular? Probably not, though she could probably go outside without needing to turn down her brightness settings. If she had that desire, no clouds was good, but there was more expected. There was humming, drifting in from the kitchen, and sizzling Andressa was most likely making eggs. The sound of guns meant Dahlia was getting mad at first-person shooters, most likely. It seemed like any other day, nothing to prepare for or to steal against. Since Dahlia was actually home from college for however long, on her birthday no less, it was tempting to ask if she could go out somewhere. 2 months in, and she still had no idea about even the immediate area and where a nice place to go would be. Surely either mom would have an idea of where to go. The conversation was already playing out in her head. Mommy, is there anything here we can go to have fun? It's my birthday after all. It might be a bit tricky to swing that with your head, Heather. Is there really no way to disguise it? I'm sure we can think of something, but if you have any ideas, Dahlia, they better be super inconspicuous. I really don't want to risk anything, especially today. But, Mommy... She rolled around thinking they might not have any ideas or even want to risk any ideas. Was there really nothing? She got up and looked out the window. It was nice that the rooms were entirely on the second floor. The view was pretty good. Both the views out the window seemed to be more magnificent, but they could only be so pretty each and every day. Out in the distance was where Heather spotted it. There was a bunch of people at some kind of establishment. And, okay, pizzeria, some kind of combination. And all the kids and teenagers, for whatever reason, were dressed up in ridiculous costumes. It took 10 seconds for her to burst out of her bedroom's door and shout, digital voice cracking at the excitement of it. I know what to do for my birthday! And Essa and Dahlia blinked, taken aback. How would you hide a TV head? I don't think that's possible. Like, there's no way. Unless you can replace it with like a very tiny head and then just put like a full-on prosthetic head over it. But even then, it doesn't move. So yeah, like the lips and mouth and eyes and nose, and it does not move. Andressa Santos dressed up as Lisa. Are we? Dahlia Price dressed up as Rinri Rockbell. Are we talking Lisa from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Rinri Stephanie from Fullmetal Alchemist? And Heather Mason dressed up as the arcade hair. Oh my god. Dreaming of hurt. There was only one person outside of the internet that Heather entrusted with knowledge of her true self. He seemed trustworthy enough. His name, it was always out of reach. Nothing but garbled Unicode characters and corrupted data. She had told him 2 weeks after he gifted her Silent Hill 3 that was a scene she could never forget. Hey! Wait, excuse me? He turned around to look at her. I need to tell you something. Can I keep you the secret between us? And so he did, and she felt... Oh, that's her saying. I need to tell you something. Can you keep it a secret between us? And so he did, and she felt the safest she had ever had up to that point. At least around one person, she felt that she could be herself more often. That was all she really needed. They only knew each other since 7th grade, but they hung out enough and were close enough that she felt she could at least tell him most things. She had even seen him defend social justice stuff before, so he had to be fine. Check out this game that gave me during lunch today. Oh, okay, yeah. It was 2 months later than when she successfully begged her parents to let him spend the night at his house. He held a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 triumphantly in the air like he had pulled off the biggest heist of all time. I'm confused who's talking right now. Oh, how did she manage to get in anyway? Well, let's say she knew a guy who knew a girl who doesn't give a shit about GameStop policy. Only took 2 months, but it's here. Apparently this is mine to keep. Sick, huh? Ah, Ella fidgeted with her hair about a bow. She couldn't even pretend to be enthused about the game, but so long as her friend was happy, it made her feel happy. You just can't let your parents find out, or you'll probably be grounded until college. You got panicky on the thought. She couldn't help but laugh. Yeah, well, they won't. I'm super good at hiding my emulated games, so they'll never find... Oh, wait. This is for you to play as well. He rolled over his backpack and started rummaging through it. She also managed to get the new Mario game. I know how much you wanted that. It should be here somewhere. She had to resist tearing up in front of him. Are you sure? You know I won't be able to take it home. Yeah, I can keep it here. I can also keep it safe from my parents. You can play it however much you want. But the rest of the night was hard to fill in from memory. He did stay up almost the whole night on his Wii U playing it, long after he had gone to bed. This is what safety felt like. It felt like gaming far away from the trappings of regular life. If only was a girl. Because as she said, he's gay. As a few days later, Heather's friends had gotten in trouble. That's why he hasn't been at school, he thought. Later news had spread through the grapevine of every clique in the mini school class. Someone had their hands on stolen copies of games, and didn't take long to follow the trail. Around the same time, Heather's life became even more of a trial to endure. It was months later that she had realized that the hair bow she... I keep wanting to say bow. The hair bow she lost might have also been found at his house. Of course, that's how the secret got spilled. It's better to confess to being a thief than to be a sin against God. The rat bastard modern-day Judas Iscariot had sold her out, never to look her way again, even as school became a second hell. Wait, what? So did her friend tell, like, rat her out to the police? Is that what I'm just getting? Is that why I'm standing here? I want something I want added to me. That was how these conversations usually started. Whenever Heather wanted some new ability, he would bug Andressa and Dahlia about it. It didn't happen often, but there was no reason to fight off the temptation. She cheated death once already, and now had both looks and abilities no other humans could achieve, so what would be the trouble with anything new? Usually both moms were fine with it. She never really gave much consideration to that. If they were both okay with it, then why wouldn't it be fine? So far, Heather had requested pretty minor things. The ability to make graphics look nicer in games, an icon of her in games that she could control and talk through, the ability to have it automate certain tasks, reminded not to play for too long, for example. Nothing big, certainly nothing that could hurt anyone. There wasn't much else that she could think of, except for... Andressa replied, distracted as she programmed. What do you want us to add? Something that lets me modify games to... No. They shook their head. You never seemed like that kind of girl who wants to cheat, so I figure you have another reason for it. My answer will still be no. I don't think it'd be a step too far, though. I can already make graphics look better, so wouldn't something like moving blood or making skipping forced cutscenes be a natural next step? Would those be the only changes you want to make? Even if I said yes, you would still say no. A frowning face made out of a question mark appeared on her screen. It was the first time she got turned down. She had no idea how to proceed from there. Doesn't Danganronpa have pink blood anyway? Yeah, but it's too much for me even then. You must really like dating sims, Miss Mason. Heather couldn't help but laugh alone. It's just a matter of principle that could break games or glitch things out too hard and might actually tempt you into wanting to cheat. No go. But you can learn how to mod and program. Dahlia has a pretty powerful laptop she almost never uses for those purposes that we can give you. If that was the only reason you would be so immediately firm about it on every level, Andressa paused. They seemed unsure on how to react. 10 seconds passed, then 20, then 30. It was the first time Heather experienced an awkward silence with either mom, so she didn't know what to do. The screen was replaced with an exclamation mark and teardrops. I'm sorry if I touched on a nerve. I didn't mean to. If I did Oh, I'm sorry if I touched on a nerve. I didn't mean to. If I did anything wrong, I can apologize for that. I'm sorry. Nessa reached out a hand to stop her from spiraling into a never-ending apology loop. She had gotten better about not doing that. She was only able to catch herself when someone snapped her out of it. She felt her mother's arms wrapped around her, warm and secure. You're fine. I just don't want anything wonky to happen to you. Andressa quietly spoke. They tried to be as calm as they could for Heather. I don't know if having something like that can accidentally fuck you up if you're not super careful about it. The more we add, the greater chance something might go wrong. Maybe it would be better if I ask Dahlia and we can see what she says, alright? She looked up at them and nodded, feeling a little more relaxed. There were probably more unspoken reasons, but she had come to understand that they weren't the best at being communicative, fitting of a friend. Hell yeah. You didn't even think about it. Look, Andy, it shouldn't be a big deal. We're both smart enough to try and figure out ways it can go wrong and prevent it. It shouldn't hurt Max at all. Heather shrunk a bit into the couch. She never had the heart to tell Dahlia that it always embarrassed her a little hard to hear that nickname. We can spend weeks working on it, and it shouldn't be an issue, alright? I guess. You sound supremely overconfident, love. Dahlia grinned, and Heather couldn't help but smile seeing her mom beam with pride. Beaming of an end. And that's probably what, yeah, it did end up causing a lot of mischief. A lot of, like, extra programming going haywire, I would say. Beam of an end. Heather ran away from home at the age of 16. She woke up in a panic, body shaking. She didn't like to think about it. She didn't like to dream about it. Win a free Nintendo Switch. This November 12th, get first in a video game tournament at participating GameStops in Las Vegas, Nevada. Game announced the day of the tournament, and GameStop will ship a free Nintendo Switch to your residence on launch day. Foods and drinks provided. Costumes and cosplay welcome. Power up at GameStop. Terms and conditions apply. Please check in with participating GameStops to find out more. Can we? Max, that's far away from where you and Andy live. Jesus, why? It's the Switch. Should be so fun to play, and it's free. And I should be good at whatever game they announce. It's no big deal, right? You had a point, though. That's pretty far away. Are you willing to travel and stay at a hotel overnight? A buffering symbol appeared on her screen. We can only do so much. We can stay over there for one night, and we have to travel by car if we wanted to go. So it'll be pretty difficult. That should be fine, I think. Heather wasn't sure. The journey seemed grueling, and maybe there was someone who'd be better than her, but then again, the price was so tantalizing. How could she refuse? She felt more bothered by the reactions. She was worried that they were annoyed, and even if that was less likely than surprise and fatigue, that anxiety always stuck with her now. It must be really saddening to think that, like, because she pushed so hard to join, to have certain things programmed to her, or to join this competition, now she's stuck with the foundation. She probably is, like, thinking about all the different things that she has asked of Dahlia and Andressa. And it's like, oh, if only I never asked for that, I would not be stuck here. I would not having to do these tests. I would not be separated for so long. Heather, you have to take this seriously if you wanted to go. Once we make the plans, we can't afford to back out, especially since Dahlia will come as well. They sighed. At least they can afford to miss classes for a bit. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I just have to rearrange some stuff and stock up to some professors. My grades are good enough now that it will be fine. Really, it's whether you two can handle it, especially Max. Heather looked down at the floor, twirling around a non-existent object. There was the possibility of being overwhelmed, but they've been better at dealing with sensory overloads at home. Going to the arcade for her birthday went well enough, and it was only a GameStop. There shouldn't be much of an issue. The tournament wouldn't last too long as well if she could be quick enough and good enough to beat everyone, and they seem to be on board now, at least. I can do it, no problem. Then I should be fine as well. Can you come down 2 days before we head there, dear? Yeah, it should be no problem. I have to send you all my weed as an extra safety precautions, and I just bought some, but that's not gonna be an issue for you, I hope. And a grin, now she was pumped. She never felt so excited in her life. Dreaming of birth, Heather didn't remember how long she had spent in nothingness. There was no reason to keep track of time at that point. Maybe there was something, but whatever called her from the living world had wiped the memory of it. Maybe it was because she was destined to come back that she spent her time in nothingness. This could work. I don't know. Armand said it'd be fine like this. Her existence pulsated and two ladies immediately went on alert. Hey, anyone there? Heather didn't know how to respond in this state. All her thoughts could do was pulsate with no meaning carried along. Shit. Andy, do you know what to do? I'm thinking, Dahlia. I'm always confused who's actually talking. I'm thinking, Dahlia. Hey, whoever you are, keep pulsing your thoughts until you can form words with them. It shouldn't be too hard. We have all night anyway. Night? Right, it was night. The opposite of day. Day was the period of time roughly defined as the sun being up. Night was a period of time roughly defined as the sun being down. The sun was a giant star that radiated light and heat. Alright. What were they doing talking to her at night? How were they talking to her? What sort of state was she in? Don't worry. Take your time to figure it out, the other lady reassured. Is this like how she was born? It does say dreaming of birth. She pulsated, her energy and soul and being pulsated as she worked out universal concept when she was a human being. There were 4 seasons. The planet she lived on was Earth. People had ages. She was 16 years and some months. There were games, digital games, video games. People had names. There was a girl, Heather Mason. Heather. Is that your name? One of the ladies, Andressa replied. Yes, Heather Mason. Oh, like the Silent Hill chick, the other lady. Dahlia seemed excited at that prospect. A warmness ran through the words spoken on the warmth reached, and the warmth reached her being as it were. How do you feel right now? Feel? Yeah, it does seem like this is when she woke up with the TV head. So the thing with Andy before, with like this boy who gave her the Silent Hill game must have been before she got the TV head. And then, yeah, okay. I think it started clicking together. It's like the timelines are all over the place, but it's all coming together. It's hard to explain. What are you feeling right now? It might be too abstract for her, Andy. Let's see. Do you know where you are right now? Heather thought they were in the night, so they weren't in nothingness like her. So if they were alive, hell? Fuck no. We just reached out to your soul. That's all. Dahlia sounded like an adult and swore like one, but she didn't sound angry. We're still pretty new to this thing. It's, have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist? No. I'm out of the ways to explain it already. I might just get some coffee. You want some sugar? Pause after some, before sugar. Sugar, that goes in coffee. But there was a pause, so she called Andressa sugar? Were they? I'm good, but you can't be out, You can't be out of the room for too long. Please be back in less than 5 minutes or we may lose Heather. Lose? They didn't want to lose her. Heather couldn't hear anything but words, but the pause in speaking probably meant that Dahlia had left the room that they were in. She tried to catch up on concepts again. Math, history, Alan Turing, Paris is burning, Fox News, pool cues, climate. She experienced what she could only think of as a twang in the air where her thoughts had gathered. It's alright, Heather. You can relax. You should be fine. Listen. I don't know what happened to you, but I can't imagine it was anything good. No. A pause. How are you talking to me? That's a long story. My girlfriend and I worked on this project with friends and we decided that we wanted to contribute to it. But everyone else's project is like... Pause. This thing our friend group works on, we bring back lost souls. People that lives just screwed over. We put them into fitting bodies that other souls no longer are able to inhabit. That's a long story. Jeez, you explain this so much better. Am I lost? I don't know. Do you feel lost? Heather couldn't answer that. Possibly. Did you pick me on purpose? Not really. We just sort of. It's like when you go fishing, you throw some bait out into the crowded lake, hoping to catch some fish like that, but less dangerous. So we do that and configure their souls and bodies to do cool shit. Configure. Oh, configure like a computer. Or was it magic? It felt magic. We want them to feel useful. When they didn't feel useful in life, there's only one way to do it. But it's the easiest and most consistent way. But stuff keeps going wrong and they get lost all over again. I always felt the worst about it. I think my bitching chat has finally gotten to them, I hope. Huh? Human souls are still human. They don't stop being human because they no longer have a body. It's hard for us to think of it like that while we're alive, but it's morally gray. We just didn't realize it until a certain point. But we still want to help. And Dahlia and I, it wouldn't really be a bad idea to be a mother, right? Heather didn't know how to respond. Would have disagreed in her lifetime. So, if you want to come back, we can find a way. It's not alchemy. I don't think any laws of nature are going to be broken. We just care a lot, I guess. Maybe too much. Andres' voice cracked. And I could tell how serious she was. Hey, I'm back. See? Turbo quick. Hey. Heather could hear a kiss. She paused as much as you could without realizing. Hey, Heather, is everything okay? Huh? Yeah, I think so. Family would be nice. It just sounds too convenient. I've never really had a family. I want to be cool and cared for. I just want a family. A real one. Hey, you're talking to us, so we must already be doing something right. Dahlia giggled. Heather could have sworn she heard Andrea smiled. The radiance warmed her, so that's what safety felt like after all. She wasn't sure where it started to go wrong. Maybe it was her fault. When Heather won, she realized it was probably due to all of the other contenders acting weird. She didn't fully grasp the situation. The employees were suspicious and wanted a picture of her without her costume. The reason still eludes her, something to do with her photo for the store. Whatever that meant. She didn't have a script prepared to head off the situation before it became an issue. She was too bewildered to give a good answer and awkwardly declined to do so. It was... If she only prepared for this situation, maybe things wouldn't have been so confusing. All it took was an impatient 12-year-old to try to take off her head before confusion took place. When she panicked and took it off herself, chaos set in. Maybe it was a bad timing that both of her mothers left early. But why did they leave early? That's my question. Wouldn't they want to like make sure that nothing like this would happen? That's what I'm like. We see that they definitely deeply care for her and that they're very, very cautious. But the moment she is in a public competition and wins the competition as well, they're gone. Dahlia wanted to get some groceries for the hotel that night as well as snacks for the way back. And Andres had to check in with the hotel to see if they could check out super early. Plus the old dealer was right next to the hotel too, so it would be super quick to unlucky break for weed. Okay, yeah, but couldn't they have waited till the competition was over? If they had left 20 minutes earlier, maybe they would have been back in time to help her. If they had left 20 minutes later, maybe all of them would have left by the end of the tournament. Maybe things would have played out differently. But she said it was okay for her mom to go, so she was to blame there. I think that's... Okay, I don't think that's very... This is going to be a little literature critique I have right here. That doesn't sound like it fits to their characters. We have established that they honestly deeply care for Heather. That they're very careful around Heather. And even this competition, they're like, we gotta be precise, we gotta calculate, we have to organize it. So you want to tell me she is about to head into a public competition by herself, and the two moms decide to like, okay, let me check if I can get groceries, weed, and book the hotel out early. Which... The hotel thing, you could have done that from home. The groceries as well. Like, all these, like, the only thing that I'm like, yeah, maybe you can do that in that moment is the weed. But even then, you could have done that after the competition. So, this feels not very, like, true to their character. That they just leave her. If you never went in unless this has a reason. That has, like, a solid reason why they did that. If she never went in the first place, things wouldn't have turned out to be a mess. If she threw or did poorly on purpose, maybe she would have never been asked to take a picture. If she knew what exactly was affecting everyone, maybe she could help them instead of being so engrossed in the game. If she hadn't experienced massive sensory overload during the tournament, no one would have been affected in the first place. If she knew beforehand that her anomalies were likely to cause an issue, maybe her mothers could have thought everything beforehand. If she wasn't into games, maybe none of this wouldn't have happened. And now she's stuck, locked outside of a GameStop, waiting for the police to come, no way to contact her mothers. The sign that she made on her own, and a reminder of what she is, tucked away in her sweatshirt for the police to find, are all she has now. It's like Sweet 16 all over again. Oof. Dreaming of family. The first thing Heather had asked for before coming back to life was a TV head. I think would be cool. Was the only reason she gave. And no real other reason was needed. Over the course of the next week, there was a lot of information she had to absorb from her new mothers. Not like she didn't expect it. If she could be brought back to life, anything was possible. It just didn't occur to her the scope of the information she had to learn. After many questions and conversations, she had learned some important things. 1. Going outside with a TV head would be bad unless it was a costume parties, conventions, meetups where cosplay was allowed, or on a Halloween. Heather realized this when asking for it, which was fine, but still a problem at times. Neither mom could figure out a workaround for now, but they'd try. If she goes outside, she had to be careful no one tried to take off her head. Nothing good would come of that. They felt very protective on this matter, enough to not even tell her what this was protecting her from. Again, see, that's what I'm saying, like... So why did they leave her at a public space with children by herself? 2. Homeschooling would be a thing, but both of them would be lax about it. They understood how stressful high school was. 3. Dahlia Price used she/her pronouns. Andressa Santos used they/them, I realized. Though she/her wasn't out of the question for Heather if she ever forgot. Number 4. She was anomalous, but by the very nature of her existence now, that meant if she wanted anything cool, she could ask either of them. They just have to approve it. There were other anomalous things out there, but they wanted to be careful about what she got exposed to, just in case. 5. She had to stay with Andressa in New Mexico. Dahlia would be at college most of the time, and aside from any occasional visits to leave Ohio that she could score, she talked to the both of them over video calls. In a year, they have to see what living arrangements would look like. Dahlia would be coming back from her year off. 6. Neither mother would let her smoke weed. The logistics of that were hard to figure out. So really, she just shouldn't get high from any method, period. There was a room in Andressa's apartment where they smoked away from her, and outside as well. It was fine with Heather. She had no plans to do so regardless, but she appreciated this rule being there in the first place. 7. They let her know about anything else important. It felt sturdy. There was stability in a structure of some sort, reliable in housing and food and water, and most of all, her two parents loved each other. It felt nice. They were kind and lovely. They were her parents, her mothers, her best friends. New Mexico didn't seem bad. Apparently, heat wasn't an issue because her head could cool herself off. Everything seemed fine. Do you guys believe the reason why the Foundation cannot find the moms is because the moms are now, like, refusing to show themselves because Heather has been captured? Because, like, they probably, like, there would be, like, a lot more trouble for them as well if they get caught. And yet, she could never get a nagging thought out of her back of her head. She felt guilty every time she felt it. After all, she couldn't really pick her parents. Why should she doubt herself with such a nice family when her last one was, in hindsight, horrible? Still, it never really left her. Andressa and Dahlia, they felt more like her friends than her parents. They weren't that much older than her. Andressa was only 21, Dahlia was 20. She was still technically 16. Does her body even age? Does she mentally age? How does that work? But even accounting for a difference in maturity and experience, they almost always felt like older sisters rather than parents. It was disorienting sometimes. She always felt ashamed to see it that way, but it's not like she couldn't. It didn't quite feel like family. Oh, great. Heather found herself outside out on the pavement, right? She remembers now it wasn't some bizarre dream after all. She went through her own punishment time at the jailer's place. Not too far off from the police, really, and yet she ended up back here at the cursed GameStop. Took a little bit before she realized the full scope of the situation. Right. Shit, it's night. Las Vegas. GameStop. Oh yeah, because I don't have music. My headphone turned off. True. Forgot about that. We'll figure it out. So I'm free. So what do I do? I guess I should sleep behind the store. Yeah, I guess. It was nighttime, and this part of the city was surprisingly empty. She always assumed Las Vegas was another one of those cities that never sleep. Thankfully, everyone got some shut-eye for her. She got up and walked behind the GameStop, body aching and head spinning, a dizzy face blasting the screen. As she sat down next to the garbage can to better hide herself, she at least felt thankful nothing actually broke. Her head was intact, body was okay, no bones broken. Now she had to wait. Wait for what? So this must be now after the foundation, like when she like teleported. I don't know. What a horrible night to have a curse, huh? Castlevania reference. She thought to herself and she giggled, even if it was a pain laughter, because she could at least find some solace in the situation. Suffering is a fact of life. You deal with that as you go. That or you go under, Heather. Don't go under like you did today. Don't go under like you did long ago. Just stay intact. They'll find you soon enough, right? Soon. The sound of feet running at her snapped her out of this dreamless sleep. 2 pairs of feet. 4 feet, cleats and flip-flops in the winter. Someone was wearing cleats to run, but flip-flops in winter? Her mommy told her a joke about she was fine wearing nothing in the even the coldest weather because of her Brazilian blood. That would mean Heather! She barely had time to process it before arms linked around her, tears running down her clothes and screen. Hey, it's okay, we found you. You're safe, holy fuck. Dahlia was so closest to losing her. Losing it, Heather never asked for the ability to cry. If that was even possible, she'd done enough of that. But she almost wanted that back now. We got you. We got you. We need to take you home. I'm sorry. We're sorry. We shouldn't have been so irresponsible. Irresponsible. Irresponsible was the word pinging around in her head as they picked her up and carried her to the car like a queen. As they started to drive home, Dahlia put on Megadeth to get herself to stop crying, as Andressa played Have a Nice Life to calm herself down. As they switched seats so Dahlia could sleep, irresponsible. You wanted to agree. You wanted to tell them that wasn't true. Which of the two was it? Heather, I'm sorry that both of us are. Some hours later, enough that the sun started to breach the landscape and Mommy brought her back down to earth. She wasn't sure if she was supposed to be mad or disappointed or relieved. Andressa's tone felt like a kid apologizing to her mother. Her mother's didn't feel that different from her after all. It's okay, maybe half-truths would help. Andressa sighed and nodded. They probably felt the same. I think right now I just want sleep. That's alright, sweetie. Sleep as much as you want. Heather leaned under the window and closed her eyes. It was hard to power down with a road so inconsistently bumpy as the one they were traveling on. It was an hour before she got to overhear a brief conversation her mother's had, presumably thinking she had fallen asleep. Hey, Andy? We have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Yeah, let's stop fucking acting like kids. Right. Yeah. Dahlia sniffed. Raising a kid. We can't be her friend, we need to be mothers. Love you, hun. Love you too, darling. It was the best rest she got in months. For her, technically, 18th birthday, Heather got a Nintendo Switch. She let herself believe that she earned it this time. That's at least we got a happy ending. The Foundation is in panic. Don't get me wrong. They're probably thinking like, where is she? See, it's a little bit not in focus right now. Let me see if that's. Don't like that. Oh well. A lot of technical difficulties happening today, it seems. But still, I feel for SCP-319. Oh, yeah, of course. Like, you have to understand, like, that it must have been terrifying for her. I think I know what. Let me actually unplug my webcam real quick and replug it in. That usually does it. All right, let's see if did you read document-B from the SCP? I mean, yeah, document-B. I did. Yeah, that's the last thing I read before N-C. If died and revived somewhere else. Yeah. So she revived. She revived. That's what it was. she technically died. That looks better. There we go. She died and then revived somewhere. That's what happened. And that's probably how they found her so fast. So, good for them. Good for them, honestly. That is good for them. Happy for them that they got out of that situation. But the Foundation's gonna fucking... it's gonna go nuts now. Like, oh, shit. She's gone. We have to find her. But... because Heather and... no, sorry. Because Dahlia and Andressa were actually hiding pretty well, I doubt the Foundation is able to go find... They probably gonna think either A, she actually is fully undead, although they have document B, so it does say that that she respawned somewhere. But now now Andressa and Dahlia is going to be even more stricter about... and Heather now knows that the Foundation exists, so now they're going to be even more careful of not being found. So I feel like they're going to have a tough time recapturing SCP-3090. And I hope they don't. I honestly hope they don't, because I feel like Heather went through way too much shit. Alright guys, give me some extra time to figure out what the fuck is happening with my iTunes. But like an extra 2 minutes at least.